What's going on, tile friends? We're waiting on my man Jason. He's just just coming right now. I schedule these things and I've got to start them on time. Otherwise I lose the connection and I have to reschedule for like 30 minutes later. So I didn't want to do that. I thought I would just start this thing up, and my man Jason is on his way. So he'll be here any minute, and I'll try to entertain you in the meantime. Listen, we're just having some fun here on this Friday. Just trying to relax and talk some tile. We're going to talk about a couple different subjects that I think you will be interested in. Truth be told, we're just going to kind of freestyle it here, and that's the fun of going live, right? So I've got some questions for Jason that I came up with here, some would you rather stuff, some games. I thought, let's have some fun on this Friday. Let's relax a little bit and play some games, play some would you rather, and see if some of the audience has some questions for either of us. Anybody, feel free to go ahead and shoot me a question if you want. Richard says, Happy Friday, Richard. Thanks for joining us. We've got Tilo Gonzalez in here. Tilo, how you doing, buddy? John Roberts is in here. Dave is in here. We got Phil Green in here. Bill, thanks for joining us. What would you guys like to talk about? All right, Nathan says, ask him what a fair price for a slice of pizza is. What's going on, Jason?
What's up, brother?
Good, man. We got Make It Drain. We got Anthony Moses in here. We got Mario. We got Mario Gonzalez in here.
Oh, wow. We've got a family going on right now. The posse is in full effect.
I think Mario actually got hired by Durand Construction to promote.
He did. Yes. Yes.
Is he there hype man?
He is. Yep. He does all of Lee doesn't do really anything. So Mario will take care of all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's a fun comment. Dave, and he said, come on, you can try the last name. All right, let's do this, Dave. We got Dave Valero Builders Pookie.
Pookie.
Pucci. What do you got?
Okay. I'm gonna say Dave Pucci.
All right. I like Pookie.
Look at this.
What you got? Some chai tea?
That's a bubble tea, brother. I'm addicted.
Oh, bubble tea.
Hey, Luke, I'm going to be straight with you, bro. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to navigate my phone on, you know what I mean? Like eventually, you know what you're going to be looking at? You're going to be looking at that.
Why is that?
I just can't figure out how to navigate this, man. I'm feeling like I got to put my head in a weird place.
Do you want to? You can hold it vertical.
No, it's okay. I'm trying. I'm here to make you happy.
Dave says you got it. It is Pucci. It's not Pucky. It's not Pookie. Hey, Fred. We got Fred in here. Fred from
Fred.
Physics.
How's everything going?
Fred. I'm doing good.
So good, man. It's been a really interesting week, right?
Dude, I want to forget this week.
Me too. Oh, I'm going to go back inside. Somebody's having a massage out here, and I don't want to ruin their good time.
Fred said he's doing great with a capital A. I guess that's Great. Great.
So he's Great.
Great. Good. I know he got a little fender bender a couple weeks ago, so I'm glad to see him back on the horse. Good deal, Fred. Good deal.
What do you what's the hat you have on right now? What are you repping?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, man. I meant to bring this up. This is that's Barrett Tile. Out of Clovis. Yeah.
Okay, so he's one of the mud boys from Clovis.
Yeah, he's a mud dog. He's actually got a contest going on. He made some new hats. So he altered his logo a little bit, which he enlarged the mountains and took the red out.
I like it.
And he's giving some away right now in the California Tile Contractors Group. And he's got a contest going on, and I really like this contest. The contest, he's got some flowers, some dried flowers in a jar. Yeah. It looks like a jar. And he wants you to guess the gram on the flour. So I guess 20 grams in that, but some other
We're talking
medicinal
weight.
flours, huh?
Weight.
Yeah, grams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking
Okay.
weight.
Cool.
I mean, whatever. I mean, it would be weight. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so Luke, so tell me, let's talk a little bit more. Just so, what's the competition? How do you get involved in it?
He said, so guess the weight in grams, and then tonight, and I guess in a couple hours,
Right.
he's going to weigh it, and then whoever guessed the closest, like the Price is Right, is actually going to win the deal, win a hat.
Bob Barker.
Oh man.
So what's that group?
That's called I think it's called California Tile Contractors, something like that.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's great. Well, for those of you that are come on, Caesar, come on in here. It's hot, buddy. For those of you that are looking for a cool little contest and they get some swag out of it.
Yeah, he's giving away one of these hats. He kind of changed the logo a little bit, but essentially it's this hat. And another cool hat that I just received in the mail here this week is Tile Life.
That's cool. Is that Dave? Is that
Buki?
Chris Carp? Is that Carp? Is that Carp?
Dave?
Life?
No, that's not Dave Carp. Dave Carp put it on some shirts, some pretty sick shirts. But this guy came out of Instagram. He's actually in GTP. He introduced himself here. I don't know, yesterday, something like that, day before yesterday. So you can order those on his site. It's like a Shopify site. He's actually got some sweet leggings with Tile Life across the cheeks.
Like yoga pants?
Yeah, like yoga pants.
I'm into that.
Oh, Mario straightened up that group, California Tile Brigade. Thank you, Mario.
I've heard of it. I've heard of the California Tile Brigade. Do you selfishly, you haven't asked me what I'm repping today.
What are you repping, Jason?
Well,
Go board for the win.
Go board. I put up that cool picture last night of that young lady wearing it. And check this out.
Where do you find your models?
My models?
Is that a Tile Love shirt?
Dude.
Man, I'm jealous. That's a nice shirt.
I like it.
That's a nice shirt.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm into it. The Tile Love shirt.
T there. We've got a first question from our audience, and it was from George Gregoris.
Okay.
He says, usually when you bid an estimate for a job, how do you build so you won't scare your customer with the price? How do you?
Man, great question. That's interesting because I had a conversation with how am I coming in by the way right now? Good?
Loud and clear. Yeah.
Good, really. I got a new battery on my phone too, so we should be good shape. And I'm down at the Palace down on the water, so I should have good service. What are you drinking?
Vodka with some, I guess, orange juice and soda water.
Wow, serious business. It's Friday and you're getting to it.
It's 4:45. Sue me.
That's right.
Sue me.
I think it's great. So how do we bid so that we don't scare the customer off? That's a good question. Sometimes you can hide some profit and some of the money in if you're buying material. That's a good way to sneak a little money into your bid and not freaking the customer out. Because sometimes you get those customers that are really paying attention to all the details like that, so they're gonna know, well, hey, I already went down there and looked at this and I know my price. And so there are times where this comes back to when we talk about learning your customer, know your worth, know your customer, know who you're dealing with. So a good way to get some extra money in a quote without freaking customers out is to hide in the materials. The other thing is talk about the value that you bring.
Mm.
I come into the consult kind of immediately feeling very confident in what we're bringing, and that the job you're going to get is going to be solid.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's another thing you could do, is that show a lot of confidence. If you're trying to, I talked about this with Simon. If you're trying to raise your prices a little bit, do it slowly. And then if there's a job that you bid that you don't really want to do, and that you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this job, throw an obscene number at it.
Mm.
And then you know what I'm talking about, Luke, where you throw an obscene number at it, and if you get it, you're stoked, because you're like, dang, I didn't want to do this job, but I threw such a high number at it that I'm okay if I do. So that's a couple ways. I mean, Luke, what about you? When you had your business and you were setting tile every day, how did you go about it?
Well, I like your suggestions. First of all, they're all legitimate. They all have their place. Someone, mentioned, like you said, increase in 20% increments. I've heard Ken Balin say, I just keep increasing until I lose 5 or 10 in a row. And then I start backing down slowly. And I do that every so often with the fluctuation of the economy and so forth. I mean, that's a way, I think the question was kind of geared as how to not scare them off with the price. So what I like to do is set them up. Like Jason said, talk about the value, set them up, from the get-go, set them up from the very first time the phone rings, talk a little bit about pricing, talk about their budget, try to get them on the phone for a good 30 to 60 minutes. And why I say this is, look, a lot of us want to get off that phone right away, and then we'll go to the job and try to sell it. But we didn't ask what their budget is. We didn't really feel them out. We didn't ask any questions. Get them as much as possible. Get that client to talk, because people have diarrhea of the mouth, and and they're going to tell you, they're going to reveal their secrets, and you're going to learn this guy's going to sell his house next month. He's, timing's not even, you're going to learn all kinds of stuff. And all of a sudden you're going to learn hey, okay, I feel like we got a rapport here. And then towards the end of the conversation, you can bring about budget. You can say, what are you thinking you can spend? And you can say, my shower remodel cost X dollar. How does that sound to you? And then, you know what? If after 30 minutes you get to that point and they're like, then you freaked out. Listen, you only spent 30 minutes, not a big deal. You got to use that versus driving out, an hour each way or whatever.
Don't get yourself into the situation where I've done it before, where you go in there, you meet them at the supply house. You do all the work for them. You design the bathroom. You give them all these ideas. The next thing you know, you give them a bid, and they're like, "Wow, this isn't in our budget. We don't have this kind of money to spend." So you're 100% right that it's important to have that phone conversation first. Sean Parker, I learned a lot from Sean Parker, who a CTI 999, great number. Good friend of mine. Used to work for Hawthorne Tile, as we know, Hawthorne here in Portland with Dirk Sullivan. I've learned a lot from Dirk also. That one of the first things I say to customers and to potential clients and homeowners is I say, and even contractors, listen, I'm not the cheapest guy. We are not the cheapest company in town. I just recently did a quote, and I can tell you, we're not going to get it. I mean, I know 99.9% sure we're not going to get this job. But I told the guy, listen, we're not this isn't, you're not buying the Dodge Dart here today. I mean, we might not be the Ferrari, but maybe we're a Mercedes, right? So set that expectation right from the jump. Let them know, hey, listen, I'm not the cheapest guy in town. But I give a lifetime warranty for my work. I always say things like, a lot of tile setters, they go down to the Home Depot and they buy a $12 bag of thin set. I say, that's not what I do. You know, I go to my supply house and I spend three or four or five times that on a bag of thin set.
Right.
So, you know, yeah. And I'm consulting with you. I'm helping you design. I'm doing all of these things. And you can say, at no charge to you, I'm here for you. I'm going to answer my phone when you call. If you need help, you know, throughout the process, I'm always going to be here to help. I'm available. Those are kind of the ways that we differentiate ourselves from the next guy. Not that the next guy or girl isn't doing those things, but those are some of the things that we say and do to be a little different.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't, this is interesting. Do you mind if I share something? I wasn't going to go here, you know, at all, but because we're talking about pricings and you said a lot of interesting things, I want to share with you something and see what you think.
I'm scared.
I did a, not that
going on here.
Not that. Hang on.
Okay.
I did a, that was later. I was going to share my screen later and with a game I created.
Cool.
But let me just share this real quick. We don't have to spend a lot of time and then we can wrap up the pricing conversation.
Yeah. It's a great conversation.
I interviewed this guy, the owner of this website out of Chicago. I actually interviewed him earlier today on a live in the Tile Money podcast, which is all about pricing and business.
Right. Totally.
He puts his pricing right on his website. And if you noticed, this is actually for the typical hall bath, so a 5x8 bathroom. And he's in Chicago. Keep that in mind. Some people in Canada.
Wow.
Right? So he starts his bathroom remodels at $25K.
That's fantastic.
You know, for basic, mid 30, and then 5K.
What are we? Does it say what's involved in it? Yeah.
You know, for 25K, you keep the existing bathtub. You get ceramic tile on your floor and your shower walls. Level 1 plumbing fixtures, level 1 cabinetry, granite, electrical updates, shower door not included. Fixtures remain in some locations. So interesting stuff. So basic plumbing. So, and then for 30K, let's move up to 35K. You get to replace a shower, a tub to shower conversion. And then porcelain, level 3 of all that good stuff. And then custom shower doors, fixtures can be moved. So you
full meal deal.
Yeah. And then look at this. So this, and then this is a large master bathroom, a large master bathroom with, like, you know, a private, you know, John and, you know, different things like that. They start at 50K and they go up to 70 plus. So these are the prices that contractors are getting throughout the country. And, you know, he's a builder. He's a general contractor who does remodel.
So that includes all of the designing. Does that include materials, plumbing materials, basic? So the other one, like the 50K, would be the basics, you know?
Yeah. That's going to include your materials and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. I like that.
But he gives that, you know, public information and things of this nature. So I thought it was a good,
really cool.
Yeah, he dove into a lot of his marketing strategies in the podcast. That'll come out probably in about 2 weeks. You can watch the replay right now inside, like, the Tile Money Facebook group.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool. That's what everybody needs to learn more about, is not selling yourself short, not forgetting things. Make sure that you're not forgetting things. Make sure that you're, you know, that you don't leave things out. And because a lot of times it's hard to go back in and add something if you've forgotten it, because the customer is going to say, hey, listen, you gave me this price. Whose fault is it that you forgot to add that in there? I mean, you don't, not all customers are like that, right? There are some customers that, like, look, you know, we paid, you know, we want that. So I get it. You forgot to do it. Let's make sure we get everything in there. But you really got to protect yourself on the ass end of these things, so that you don't get, you know, you don't want to get into a situation where you've forgotten 3 or 4 things. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but good friend of mine owns a big commercial tile company here in Portland, and he forgot an entire section of a freaking hotel development.
Yeah.
$100K
Yeah.
is what it cost him. And you know what? He had to eat it.
Yeah.
Like that was it. He had to eat it. So there are situations where you want to be very cautious about, about that. Always, whenever I do bids, I always, because I'm trying to talk to my brother right now about doing bids and learn how to, put the numbers together and crunch the numbers. I go back in after I'm done with it. I don't just hit the send button and say, send it. Let's move on to the next. I go back in item for item and I mentally put that in my head. Okay, we've got a shower. We've got a floor. We're tiling the floor. We've got the floor heat. Does this say includes thermostat? Do we need to add a thermostat? Does this say includes material? Do we need to make sure we have a line for material? What about the drain? Are we doing tile base? So there's a million things to do. So a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, I love that. We have a couple more really good suggestions, if I could. There's a couple people who said like manufacturer warranty letter, actually a report to set you apart. So partner with the reps, partner with the manufacturers.
Yep.
And I'm sorry with the names, but he says I'm bringing industry and manufacturing reps with me to the job. So that's cool. That's super cool. Listen, everybody, when I go live from now on, I'm using the same software with Jason and this podcast, which is the Global Tile Podcast, as well as Tile Money. Yeah. And if you register with this StreamYard, which the links are always there, like you can see the difference here, like Mario registered, and so now I see his name, and it makes it really easy to talk to you.
That's really cool. Yeah, totally.
So it's simple. You only have to do it once. You don't have to do it for every single episode, and then you get to talk to Mario like this. He talks about making 30%. Always make sure you're percent on materials and stuff. So
totally. Yeah.
Jason,
totally.
do you want to do some fun stuff, man? Do you want to play a game or what? Or
what isn't there like, would you like to play a game? Yeah, dude. I'd love to play a game. I'm do you have it? Let's do it, man. But I really want to be embarrassed. Embarrass me. Do something. Like I'm down, Well, hold on. Speaking of that, Luke, how can I embarrass myself any more than I already did with those salmon colored shorts and my yoga stretching?
I must have missed that one.
You didn't see the post with my pictures?
No, I didn't see.
Oh, brother, you check it out, man. Get in there in GTP and check out the pictures from Wednesday afternoon where I did some stretching out on the paddle board.
Yeah,
and wore. I got to tell you, man. Like just because we're talking about it, I'm talking about it right now. You aren't necessarily. I have hairy legs and I hate it. It makes my legs look really, really ugly. I would give anything to not have hairy legs. I just want to throw that out there. So what kind of a game are we going to play here?
I've got 2 games and maybe they're a bust. Maybe they're fun. I don't know.
We had a interview lined up with a certain, I was reaching out to a certain member of the NTCA CTEF staff. Mm-hmm. He said that he would talk to us and do an interview with us, but I wasn't able to line that up for today. So maybe we can shoot for next week. So today's kind of going to be, a little quick hitter just to talk a little bit. You and I, it's been a really busy week with some stuff going on here in GTP and also Instagram, the forums in general. Obviously the world is in such an interesting place. So there's a lot of hot topics to talk about. Touching on some of the stuff that we've talked about this week with the being appropriate, stuff like that. Probably should stay away from that right now. I did see something in Mud about how the members of GTP's sexual orientation is in question. I think that's kind of interesting. So GTP as a whole, we are all trying to figure out what member of the opposite sex that we like, apparently. So I thought that was kind of funny. I think I'm going to step all over my junk right now by saying this. But there's a word out there that can cause people to say and do things and maybe things they wouldn't normally do. I'm gonna make the main page photo of GTP. I'm gonna have a couple words on there, their definitions. The first one is gonna be jealousy. Think about that for a second.
like that.
Yeah, that's a big deal, right? That causes people to say and do things that maybe they wouldn't normally do. So I'll challenge anybody that's out there hating on somebody else that's in a certain position. And here's my quick little challenge, okay? Everybody out there has the right to do what Luke and I are doing right now, okay? If you want to be somebody that's putting his or her face out there, talking about topics and being vulnerable, feel free to do it. But until you make that decision to jump off that cliff and see what happens, see this right here and this, zip it. Because this whole keyboard warrior thing, it's not doing you any good. It just makes you look like a donkey. And as we've said in GTP multiple times, Luke.
Don't be a donkey.
That's my man. All right. So moving on from all the jealous haters out there, let's talk about games. What do we have?
Yeah.
What's wrong, Luke?
Would you
right?
me for a sec? This whole Facebook thing and online, social media. Look, it's a great thing, and we should be using it for fun and
absolutely
building one another up. I mean,
yeah.
A lot of us have been online for like a decade, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of us know, like I know a lot of the names in GTP from a decade ago from John Bridge Farms.
Yeah.
Before Zuckerberg was born, or when he was still in diapers, there was a badass dude called John Bridge, and he started.
Yeah, man.
Started all this.
Yeah, we've hung out with him. Yeah.
A lot of us go back that far. And what really cracks me up, and what I really want to tell people, when you come in here, like maybe there's somebody just coming in here today and finding all this and loving it. Great. We're glad to have you here. Be very careful. Be very careful of what you say, who you think is your friend, everything. Because listen, there's a lot of times I just watch people for years before I actually reach out to them, because this is the internet. Relationships need to move slow. Don't give anybody your credit card information. Don't. This is just a joke. If this went away today, if the internet crashed tomorrow, I would still breathe. I would still eat. I'd probably be healthier.
You'd tile. You'd be happy. You'd still have your family and your kids.
But the reason Jason and I do this is to actually encourage and strengthen tile people.
That's Luke. I love the sound of your voice right now because you're so passionate about what you're saying, and you're 100% right. Like we are not doing this, Luke, because we're seeking attention. We're seeking to get things from manufacturers, that kind of stuff. We're doing this because we care so much about this industry and the people in it. And I personally do a lot of this stuff because I set tile so horribly wrong for so many years.
Exactly.
That I'm trying to right my wrongs and do the best I can to help people right their wrongs. And maybe I'm not the guy to do it. Maybe you don't understand me, right? Maybe I'm not the one that you connect with and that you vibe with. That's totally fine. Maybe Luke is the one that you connect with and vibe with. Maybe Paige is the one. Maybe Sal is the one. Maybe the Flash. Maybe Angie. Okay? But, give this a chance before you start bashing people. Okay? We will interview anybody. If you want to be interviewed, if you got something to say, you want to get something off your heart, off your mind, we would love to interview you. Luke and I, this GTP podcast is all here for family to talk about bidding, about life. You got something going on in your life and you want to discuss it, we're here for that. So before you bash us, take into consideration that everything we're doing, We're doing it because we love this industry so much. We want to see it grow. We want to see it blossom and flourish. We want this industry and this professional, this craft to live on forever. Mm. I personally want tile setters to be thought of as artists. Mm-hmm. When I want you as a tile setter, male or female, to walk into a job feeling like you are Mount Everest. You're the biggest in the room, and gaining and getting respect from the designers, the homeowners, the contractors. That's what we're trying to do here. So serious. This isn't about mud. This isn't about foam. This isn't about Schluter and Weedy and competition and crap. This is about an industry. This is about our craft and people. It's about family. It's about what we do to support our families and loved ones. It's about we are tile. Mm. That's what this is about, right? Yeah. So I think that and the other thing, GTP, I'm not questioning my my sexual orientation. Okay, super comfy with myself and my lovely lady that I have in my life. So, but Luke, anything else to say about your position and why you do what you do, why you're on this podcast with me?
Yeah, well, I hope I can make it. The only reason I'm still doing this, the only reason I'm talking into this mic is because of conversations like I had last night. I talked to River Smith, and River Smith is a great guy. He's been in the industry a long time. He's an older guy. He's still installing tile, and he called me last night for the second time in about a year. And he said, Luke, I'm not real active on the forums and stuff, but I want you to know I'm watching you. I watched you live. He wanted to talk to me about it. He had some issues. He had some things and concerns he wanted to address with me over the phone respectfully. And he also said, look, Luke, I have a notebook full of notes that I take from your podcast. He said, when I get caught up, I go back and I listen again. I'm 3 or 4 times over. That's the only reason I'm still on this stupid microphone, because guys like River actually call me and say it's making a difference. And that's
awesome. I'm
not the best podcaster. I don't have the best voice. I don't have the best brain. But I started this because I saw a need, and I thought, you know what, let's do the need. And I know it's the same way with you, Jason. Let's fulfill that need. Let's put ourselves out there and try something different. I had a great conversation with our friend Shannon just 2 days ago. And I said, Shannon, I hope that sooner than later, I can step off this mic, because I'll replace somebody. I'll find somebody that's better on the mic, smarter than me. She said, what? I said, yeah, like this is, not always easy, not always fun.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Pile money. I like the idea of GTP. I like the idea of brotherhood. I like the idea of the industry getting stronger, not weaker, of helping the next generation. I love all that. And that's what I'm there for. And I also love the idea of business. I'm an entrepreneur. So yeah, I have business interests. I have mouths to feed, and I'm curious to know how the future is going to look for Luke Miller. I left my business in California to pursue this full time, and it's been it's been fun. It's been,
interesting.
Fun and interesting doesn't pay the bills. So I'm going to continue pushing and pushing, and certainly with the help of a couple great sponsors, I've been able to keep going.
This is nothing. It's easy about this, Luke. I mean, it's not. I do think that people think and get the idea that we do this because we love talking and we love staring at our own faces. That is not the case. I get what I get a buzz off of is the private message I get from somebody, saying, hey, like Tim Brown is a good example, reaching out to me yesterday. He's got a question about a rack, a steel rack for a 1x2 floor. And I got to send him a metal fabricator. These are things that, that we are being, we're a tool is what we are, Luke. We're a tool, and we're here, and we've made ourselves available to everybody in the world in this industry, even outside of the industry. And so it does affect me when I get these messages or I see these comments of people, and then of course it's the same person the next day that's like, hey buddy, wow, great work. And this looks great. So there is a lot of frustration around that. And so in closing, what I would say is I challenge everybody to really, before you hit send, before you, like I said something in my live video the other day that I can't take back because it's a live video. And that's why live videos and even these podcasts can be a little.
Hang on, we lost.
And no, I'm here. Sorry
All right.
about that. I legitimately hit do not disturb. It just doesn't work on my phone. So, anyways, with these live vids, we can't take things back, Luke. And so this is what I challenge people to do. When you're typing up whatever comment you want to make about me or Luke or whoever, take 5 seconds, reread that comment, and ask yourself if your wife or your son or your daughter would be proud of you for sending that. And you know, that's something that's really, or your mother or your father or whoever it is in your life that you look to for advice and for guidance. When I do things, I look in the mirror and I say, what would Kim think about this? What would my mom think? What would my brother think? What would my crew think?
That's solid.
And I think, you know, too many times people just, I'm a reactor. I do it all the time. And so, you know, that saying, act, don't react.
Yeah.
And acting is taking a few seconds to reflect and look back on that comment. You know, I got to write an email to a customer coming up here real soon. And it's an awful situation here. And I'm going to let 3 or 4 people help me with that email before I send it. So it's very important to take a step back from whatever's going on up here and think about it. So anyways,
good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Thanks.
Yeah,
you too. You
well,
too.
let's jump into the game. I actually got 2 games if we have time for it. You know,
I got probably, you know, another 5-10 minutes. I love a game. Let's do it.
Let's hit the first game up. All right.
Okay.
Jason, would you rather only install backsplashes for the rest of your career or switch to only carpet?
I'll take backsplashes.
Would you rather only be able to use cement-based boards in place of all other boards and uncoupling membranes, or eat pineapple pizza once a month?
I'll take pineapple pizza.
Good.
You bastard.
Would you rather skip flood testing for the rest of your career or move to Chaz for the weekend?
Move to where?
Chaz.
Where?
You don't know what Chaz is? Chaz,
no.
Chaz, Washington, Seattle.
Oh my gosh. Is that where the coronavirus is, like, heavy right now?
No. That's all right. I give you props, man. You're legitimately not paying attention to the news. Your life must be a lot better than most of ours.
I have not watched the news in years.
Okay. Antifa or somebody, people took over Chaz. People took over downtown Seattle, and they took over the courthouse and the police, you know, something.
Whoa.
You know, the mayor of Washington or Seattle or the government, you know, I don't know, politics. They said, we've got our hands up. We're letting, there's like guys with, you know, guys who are saying we are now the new law, and it's only like 6 or 7 blocks.
What?
And that's Chaz. Yeah. And there's videos on the internet going like people,
damn, son.
It's like a
war zone.
It's a war zone. Well,
okay.
I don't know. There's drugs. There's different stuff.
What's the question again?
Skip flood testing for the rest of your life or move to Chaz for 3 nights.
I'm going to skip flood testing because I know my showers aren't going to leak.
All right, good one. Would you rather watch a client faint? Would you rather watch a client faint from being overjoyed with your tile work, or have a physical reaction yourself from having the most sick boating sesh of your life?
I'm going to say I'd rather watch a client faint.
It gives you that much joy.
Absolutely, man. The physical reaction to the work is something that is incredible to see. If you can do something so well that a customer faints, you've really, and this is no joke, you've really, really accomplished something incredible. I think that eliciting a physical response from somebody from doing something so precise, that's a very special thing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. I think I've only got one. I've got one more.
Okay.
Would you rather have a client walk on your tile, your floor tile at night and not confess, or have a client bounce a $500 check from you and then ghost you?
Oh my gosh. It's wet tile, obviously.
Yeah, wet tile. So
I'd rather them ghost me, because I don't want to have to tear out any tile that I said. It would be a nightmare.
It's not worth $500, right?
Absolutely not. I tore out a 3x12 tile around a shower valve in a weedy shower last year, and it took me half a day.
Yep.
I mean,
and that's
it
worth
was awful,
man, or whatever your day rate
Absolutely. Yep. 100% for sure. Crazy how long it took to do that, man.
And that goes back to knowing your worth. You could
exactly
immediately no, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Joseph Lambert said that I didn't watch the news either. You're right. I don't watch the news.
I can't do it.
It's here and there.
You just gave me the most information about the news that I have no idea what Chaz Washington is, man. I need to learn about it. I'm gonna check it out. As soon as we're done here, I'm checking it out.
Yeah. Well, don't go too far. All right. Is that it for you, man? You got to run.
Yeah, but listen, I know GTP that there's not that this podcast, we didn't have a guest, but part of the reason why we did this podcast is that it's good for myself to rap with Luke. We're gonna have the guest that we were looking for today. We're gonna try to get him for next Friday. Obviously, I have mentioned this. I've got a bunch of swag that I just picked up. So I'm going to be doing some contests, and I want to say this one more time for those that didn't see it before. If I have and this is a very dangerous thing for me to say. If I promised you swag, or you won swag or a contest at any point and didn't receive what I was supposed to send you, please send Luke or myself a private message, a direct message. Luke will get me the information, and I will be able to send you what you won. I've got some swag. I really want to get everybody their stuff so that I can feel better about it, and then I can start doing more competitions. Because the reason why we're not doing these little competitions and things for swag is because I don't want to be called out for not giving somebody their stuff. And here's the other thing. The reason why here in GTP, we have never charged for a shirt or a sticker is so that you can't call me out when you don't get it.
Right.
That's very calculated. So, Luke, brother, I love you, man. Thank you so much for being able to talk for a little bit today. I hope everybody's safe out there in Florida. And, I'm definitely looking forward to the next time that I get to stare at your pretty face for an hour.
My pleasure, man. Every Friday at 1:00 Pacific Coast time, 4:00 Eastern time, we're going to be attempting to do this every single Friday, typically with a guest, and we're welcome to life conversations, tile conversations, whatever you got, whatever you feel like talking about. If you have an interesting story, we really want to hear from you. If you have a funny story, we can do multiple guests. If you and your brother want to come on, you and your wife, I've got this shirt on Three Brothers Tile. I'd love to have them on all at once.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Cool. That'd be cool. All right, guys, take it easy. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend, and happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Much love. Posse up. We'll talk soon, brother.